was supposed to be just another trip. A long, cold ride across the northern states. Nothing more. I had taken trains before, commuting for work, visiting friends, running from things I didn't want to face. But this one felt different from the moment I stepped aboard. The snow outside was relentless that night. Thick white sheets falling against the platform lights, like ashes drifting from a burning sky. My boots crunched on ice as I hurried across the station, clutching my worn leather satchel close to my chest. The loudspeaker crackled with static, announcing the departure of the midnight train. I remember thinking, good, I'll have a few quiet hours to myself, maybe even sleep through the storm. When I stepped onto the train, the warmth of the interior hit me instantly. It was almost too warm, like the heaters were running high. My glasses fogged, and I had to wipe them clear before I could properly see the other passengers. There weren't many, a handful scattered through the dimly lit cars. An older couple near the back, whispering quietly. A man in a heavy coat staring blankly out the window. A young woman clutching a book she wasn't actually reading. The train gave a deep, metallic groan as it lurched forward. I felt the familiar vibration of the wheels beneath me. We were moving, leaving the station, plunging into the snowy dark. And that's when the first strange detail hit me. I hadn't seen the conductor, not at the platform, not at the doors. No one had checked my ticket when I boarded. The train simply left. I shook it off. Maybe the storm was messing with schedules. Maybe the crew was short-staffed. It was late. People cut corners. But unease was already curling its way into my gut. The first hour passed in silence. The rhythmic clack, 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 clack of the wheels on the frozen rails was almost hypnotic. Outside, nothing but white, snow swirling like mist, trees barely visible in the distance, blurred by the storm. I tried to sleep, but the heat inside the train made it impossible. My shirt clung to my skin with sweat, though outside it had to be 20 below. I pulled off my jacket, restless, and stood to stretch my legs. That was when I decided to peek toward the front, toward the engine. The hallway leading through the cars was dim. Fluorescent bulbs flickered overhead, buzzing faintly. When I passed through the next car, I noticed more passengers, though I could swear they hadn't been there before. Pale faces, blank stares. A man in a gray suit. A woman with long hair hanging limp and wet down her back. A teenager in a hoodie tapping his foot in some rhythm only he could hear. They didn't look at me. None of them even blinked, just sat there. By the time I reached the front car, my nerves were rattling like loose change in my pocket. The door to the engine cab was closed. I knocked. No answer. I tried the handle. It creaked open, and there, sitting in the driver's seat, was the conductor, or rather, what was left of him. His skin was gray-blue, frozen solid. His lips cracked, his eyes glazed over with ice. His hands were stiff on the controls, but the train kept moving. Steady, smooth, as if guided by invisible hands. I staggered back, bile rising in my throat. The man was long dead, days maybe, and yet the train barreled on through the storm. I wanted to scream, to alert the others, but when I spun back toward the passenger cars, I froze. They were standing now, all of them, every single passenger I had passed, standing in the aisles, silent, staring toward me, their faces pressed against the glass windows, fogging them with each breath. But the sound didn't match. The fog bloomed, without exhalation, without rhythm. It was like the windows themselves were breathing. I stumbled backward, heart pounding. "What the hell is this?" I whispered to no one. The nearest figure tilted its head, the woman with the wet hair. Her eyes were black pits, hollow, dripping. Her lips cracked open, and she whispered something I couldn't hear over the roar of the train. I bolted back down the aisle. The old couple was gone. The young woman with the book was gone. All that remained were faces at the windows, dozens of them, pale and pressed to the glass, watching me. But outside, there shouldn't have been anyone. We were in the middle of nowhere, miles of frozen wasteland. So who the hell were they? Panic set in. I rushed back to my seat, fumbling through my bag, searching for anything. A phone, a flashlight, a weapon. My fingers trembled so violently I nearly dropped everything. No service, just a dead scream mocking me. The lights in the car flickered, then dimmed. A low groan rumbled through the walls, vibrating the windows, and then I heard it. A knock, slow, deliberate, from outside. 1, 2, 3. I turned. Through the frosted glass, a pale face stared back, lips blue, eyes wide, frost clinging to its lashes. It knocked again, harder. My breath caught in my throat as more faces appeared on every window. Men, women, children, all pressing forward, their frozen features smeared against the glass. The train felt smaller with every second, the air thick and hot, impossible to breathe. And then the door at the end of the car creaked open. They stepped inside. Not like living people, not like anything human. They drifted, their movements jerky, fragmented, as if the storm itself pushed them forward. Each step echoed too loud, too hollow, against the metal floor. The first one, a boy in a hoodie, his skin cracked and split like ice, turned his head toward me with a sickening snap. His jaw opened wide, too wide. No, my voice was barely a whisper. The others followed, pouring into the car, filling the aisles, blocking every exit. Their whispers merged into a low, droning hum, vibrating in my skull. Join us, join us, join us. I backed against the seat, clutching the armrest until my knuckles went white. My pulse was thunder in my ears. "Stay the hell away from me!" I shouted, though my voice cracked with terror. The train groaned again, tilting as though descending some invisible slope. The lights flickered out. Darkness swallowed everything. I don't remember how long it stayed dark. Seconds? Minutes? But when the lights sputtered back to life, the car was empty. Every single figure was gone. I gasped, stumbling to my feet. My breath came in ragged bursts. I was alone again, just me and the endless clatter of the train. I thought about jumping, smashing a window and diving into the snow, anything to escape. But when I pressed my face to the glass, my stomach dropped. There was no snow, no trees, no tracks, nothing. Just black, endless, yawning black, stretching in every direction. The train wasn't moving across the land anymore. It was floating, and we were all trapped inside. I don't know how long I've been here. Time doesn't feel real anymore. The heat never fades, though my bones feel frozen to the marrow. The faces come and go. Sometimes they press close, whispering. Sometimes they vanish. But the worst part is the sound, the breathing. Not mine, not theirs. The train itself. It inhales, it exhales. The walls flex with each rhythm, like ribs expanding and collapsing. I can feel it in my seat, in the floor, in the air rattling in my lungs. The train is alive, and we're inside it. I don't know if anyone will ever hear this. If this story will ever leave with me or without me. Maybe someone will find this notebook in the wreckage, pages frozen stiff. Maybe they'll read these words and know the truth. If you ever find yourself boarding a train in the middle of a snowstorm and no one checks your ticket and the platform feels too quiet, turn back. Don't ride the frozen train, because once you do, you never get off. This was tonight's tale on Dark Whispers. If you felt the chill crawl down your spine, there are darker journeys waiting ahead. Subscribe to Dark Whispers for more terrifying stories that linger long after the lights go out. Turn on the bell so you never miss the next nightmare. And remember, the next time you hear the sound of a train whistle in the storm, don't look out the window, because something might be looking back.